What's going on, family? It's your big brother K Reno. I'm in here with my brother Washoff. And before we get started, the first thing we want to do is thank God. We want to thank Him for everything that we have and everything that He's blessed us with. And it's crazy because even though we thank Him a lot, we can still never thank Him enough. He blessed us to recognize the truth, learn the truth, and then speak the truth. And once you believe that truth, then it becomes your truth. So speak your truth. Speak it even when it's a little different from somebody else's, because we gotta understand that it is possible for more than one thing to be right. But what's even better than speaking the truth is living the truth and then standing on it. Stand on it even when the whole world is coming down on your head. Stand on it even though they gonna call you crazy. They gonna say that your truth is a lie. They might even plot and plan against you. But you stand on it with no fear. Cause when you fear man, you disrespect God. And what good is gonna come out of that? So enough of all this yapping. It's time to hear some truth in this rapping. And as you listen, you'll find yourself having to make a decision. And the question will be, will you ride with the authentic, or will you ride with something that's not really yours, like a car that's rented?
Yeah, I'm here today to tell you, do not ask for advice if you're not going to take the advice. Don't ask for advice and be like, oh, I'm going to take your advice, but I'm going to figure it out on my own. Don't do it. You know, a lot of times we caught up in relationships that's bad for us, and we look for a pity party. And a lot of times we caught up in relationships and we don't know how to get out of those relationships because of your feelings being involved. And a lot of us are caught up in relationships because we are able to, run over the person that we with, or, be able to do what we want to the person that we with, and it ain't really no ramifications from it. I mean, it goes both ways. It goes to, for the victim as well as the one that's being accused of doing these things. And I'm just here to say, don't ask for no advice if you're not willing to take that advice. I myself been in relationships that was pretty bad. I mean, I could say I'm a subject matter expert. I could do an op-ed on this. I mean, I done been in relationships where I was with somebody and we had our little, arguments, and I probably got you could say the best out of the argument. I said some things that they really didn't like. And it was this one time this female pulled my pistol on me after a kerfuffle, when she pulled my pistol on me and started squeezing the trigger. And I'm standing there like this here with my hands up, and she just squeezing the trigger. Thank God she did not know how to cock the gun, and thank God that the gun was not cocked. It was loaded, but it wasn't cocked. And I went and told my homeboy K Reno about it, and he looked at me and said, "Why the hell is you still with her?" And I'm sitting there with no answer for that, because even after she did that, I continued to fuck with the lady when I should have left her alone. But those days are behind me, and I learned from that. And everybody go through it. That's why I say, if you're going to take advice, or you're going to go to somebody for advice, take the advice and apply it to your relationship, apply it to your life. It was another time where I was in a relationship and my grandmother had passed. And, it was early on in the relationships, maybe a couple of months in. So the girl really didn't know my family or nothing like that. And my grandmother had passed, and I was going to ride to the funeral with my sister. And the girl wanted to go. And I was like, it ain't no room in the car. You can't go. I'm riding with my sister. She got a car for her. And I remember leaving the girl house and the girl chasing me down on the road, running me off the road. And I damn near wrecked, could have lost my life. And, this girl fucking crazy. I seen this shit in the beginning, but I, chose to stay with her a little bit longer. Even though, I told folk about it and they looked at me and was like, damn, nigga, that's her? And you still talking to her? And I'm like, you're standing there looking stupid. But like I say, I'm a subject matter expert. I know about this shit. So the people that come to me seeing all the shit that I done been through and they see where I'm at now. And a lot of times people come to me for advice. And I give them advice. But they choose not to apply that to their situation. I mean, a lot of stuff is common sense. If a nigga or a female cutting your tires up and putting sugar in your gas tank, I mean, that's common sense. You need to leave their ass alone. They fucking with your livelihood. It's some people out there that I know that's in relationships with guys that has slept with their daughter. And this is a fact. It's not no shit that I'm making up. This shit is facts. There's females out there that's with these dudes, and these dudes done touched on their daughter or done slept with their daughter, and they are still with them. And, that shit there, I mean, what kind of love is that? Like, really, what kind of love is that you would have to be with a man that has touched your daughter or has slept with your daughter? Seriously, what kind of love is that? A lot of relationships people be in is really on them, to be in a stifled relationship. It's on them. It ain't on nobody else. A lot of shit is common sense, like I said. So I'm just here to tell you, man, do not ask for advice if you're not going to use the advice. The caveat is there is nothing mysterious about it. Is nothing that's hid that you need to unveil or anything like that. Is right in your face. You just gotta, take that time or go through that little period in your life where shit is bleak and you ain't got nobody around you, and you got to get yourself right. Get yourself right, get your mind strong, and just go through that period in your life where it's bleak. You know what I mean? It's nobody there. And when you do get back in a relationship with somebody, your mind will be right, and you'll know the warning signs, and you'll be a little bit stronger. By that time, you'll be undignified yourself, and you'll be a better person. But I continue to say, do not ask anybody for advice if you're not going to take it. If you're going to be like, oh, I take your advice, I'm going to take your advice, but I'm going to figure it out on my own, that don't make no damn sense. I mean, really, it don't make no fucking sense. So, I'm not here to try to make myself look better than anybody else, because if you knew the shit that I done been through, I be on this here pulpit and I, give away a whole lot of shit that happened to me in the past and a lot of personal shit. So, I mean, if you watch some of my videos that preceded this, you would understand the shit that I'm saying is real. You know what I mean? A lot of shit that I done been through. I mean, I talked about it. You know, I talked about it to people. I asked for advice, and now that I'm a lot wiser, I know to listen now. Listen, and if it makes sense, then go along with it. You got common sense to know if something don't make sense. You understand what I'm saying? You got common sense to know if something don't make sense. Like I said, a lot of these things that's going on in relationships is self-evident. You pretty much can see this shit, and it's obvious that you don't need to be with that person. Like I say, you in a relationship, and the dude get off work, or the female get off work, and all they want to do is fight and be with all these arguments. Then you know that's not for you. I mean, or if you're in a relationship and that's what you like, then hey, stick with it. But I don't know nobody who want to be in a stifled relationship. Can't go nowhere, can't do nothing. If you get dressed up and try to look pretty or try to be handsome, then you got your girl or your man looking at you saying you don't need to go out like that. What you getting dressed up for? I mean, sometimes we get dressed up just to make ourselves feel good. It ain't no a reason why we getting dressed up to go out to in a sense to meet somebody. We getting dressed up for ourselves, to make us feel good. I mean, I used to do it all the time. Every time I get paid, I'm hitting up the mall buying me something fresh to wear, either a nice hat or some polos or some Jordans or whatever it is, and I'm stepping out just because I work for this here money. I hustle for this money. Shit, I want to feel good about doing. I want to enjoy the fruits of my labor, basically. And that's what you're supposed to do. If you work hard for something, then treat yourself. Make yourself feel good. Don't be in a relationship where you with somebody and you go and try to enjoy the fruits of your labor, but then the person that you with want to take that shit away from you. That's not healthy. I mean, that's not healthy, and that's not cool. But like I say, I have been in those relationships, and it took me long periods of a time to try to get out of those relationships. And it wasn't that it was me being in love. It was more of a convenience thing. I mean, they was giving me something, and in return, I was taking some of their bullshit. They'll give me some things and also give me bullshit with it. But the stuff that they was giving me was a lot greater at that time than the bullshit that I was getting at that time. You know what I mean? It was out of convenience. And so, I mean, you get older, you get wiser, and I mean, I done been through the shit, and I also was the antagonist. You know what I'm saying? I was the one that was out there doing, fighting and coming home and wanting to argue and all this here old shit. That was me. I've been on both sides of the fence. So I understand this whole relationship thing completely. Understand what I'm saying? I understand this shit very, very well. So, I mean, like I said, a lot of people that I know personally come to me and they ask me for advice, and when I give them advice, they still do what they want to do. I mean, it ain't no point. You wasting my time and you wasting your time. So I'm not gonna waste too much time on this here, what I'm talking about. I'm just here to lace you up on how I feel and what I feel should be. So you could either take my advice or you ain't got to take my advice. And that's that.